protecting your property. In this day and age, that involves more than just security guards. We'll tell you how to keep unwanted intruders out of your business. Hey there, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is Jamaica Magazine. Also on the show today, we'll meet some proud farmers who've been leading the charge to increase production in the agri-parks, and a message to uplift the youth. We kickstart the package with a quick message and a stop at the news desk.
March 15. March 15. March 15.
Employers, employees, and self-employed persons, take note. March 15, 2014 is the deadline to file your income tax returns for 2013-2014. Visit your local tax office or get 24-hour access by registering online at jamaicatax-online.gov.jm. Remember to use the correct form. Self-employed persons or persons with other sources of income should use the IT-01 form. Individuals whose only income is taxed at source, for example PAYE or withholding tax, should use the IT-05 form, and those filing on behalf of companies should use the IT-02 form. For more information, contact Tax Administration Jamaica's Customer Care Center at 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357. Good day, I'm Samantha Allen, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, March 6. An implementation task force is to be established to oversee the merger of the Island Special Constabulary Force, the ISCF, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. This follows Cabinet's approval to create a single police force that will engage in crime prevention and control initiatives. The National Security Ministry says there are several benefits to be gained from the merger, which will be effected in the 2014-2015 financial year. These include a single command and communication structure, less duplication of administrative services, expanding the skill sets of police personnel, and the rationalization of various overheads such as property rental. Cabinet's decision to merge the JCF and ISCF follows consultation with various stakeholders. The merger was recommended by the Wolf Report of 1991, as well as 5 other reports and studies. Meanwhile, the Ministry of National Security and other stakeholders are getting children involved in the Unite for Change campaign to promote peace in the society. Scores of students and other individuals attended a peace concert at the Emancipation Park on Tuesday to launch Peace Month 2014 under the theme Champions for Peace.
We're really trying to create a national movement for peace. And critical for the future is the youth. If we can get it right, then we can stop worrying about Jamaica going to pieces, and we can start thinking about Jamaicans living in peace.
The Peace Day concert featured performances and positive messages from entertainers Wayne Marshall and Assassin. The event was held in collaboration with the Education Ministry, the Citizen Security and Justice Program, the Safe Schools Program, and PALS, Peace and Love in Society. 70 residents in St. Andrew have received the land titles for units at the Seaview Gardens housing development. The residents have been waiting years for their titles, as the housing development was established under the Sites and Services Program of the 1970s.
Use it to do something. Don't lock it under the bushel. Don't hide it.
It affords you a status in your community and in the society. And it also is a basis for you to be able to access financing to improve upon the land that is now legally yours.
This latest handing over ceremony was in keeping with the Housing Ministry's mandate to provide thousands of Jamaican householders with land titles. Route inspectors from the Transport Authority will soon begin using handheld devices on the road to verify the information of public passenger operators. The move, which will begin in a couple of weeks, forms part of the authority's road operations management systems. The handheld devices will allow the route inspectors to access databases that provide information on traffic offenses, traffic tickets, road licenses, and driver history.
It's a higher level of compliance from our operators, but we are also utilizing information communication technologies to drive our development and our improvements.
The Transport Authority's managing director was speaking at a recent JIS think tank session. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites has offered some words of encouragement to students who will be sitting the Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT later this month on March 21 and 22.
Don't be nervous. The exam isn't going to be that hard, and you will all get a place in a good secondary school, so big up yourself, Grade 6.
The minister was speaking on Tuesday at a ceremony hosting Her Royal Highness the Countess of Wessex at the Holy Family Primary and Infant School in Kingston.
School is a really important time in all of our lives. The problem is that we only really realise that once we have left school. So I'm telling you now, don't miss this opportunity. This is the opportunity that you won't get back again. So use it to the best that you can.
And finally, their Royal Highnesses Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, and the Countess of Wessex left the island Wednesday after concluding their 4-day working visit to Jamaica. Before departing, Prince Edward officially opened the University of the West Indies Mona Sports Medicine Clinic, where he met some of Jamaica's Commonwealth and Olympic athletes.
I'm particularly glad to be able to meet some of you and see the fantastic facilities you've got here to support you in your endeavours as sportsmen and women.
The state-of-the-art medical research and treatment facility is the first of its kind in the Caribbean. It will specialize in the emerging discipline of sports and exercise medicine and will be dedicated to the treatment of competing athletes. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Imagine someone breaking into your business and stealing all your files, client information, bank account details. Sounds frightening, right? If you're in business, it's something you should think about. As we hear in this next feature, adequate security in the 21st century goes further than just cameras and armed guards. It involves technology and the right software.
Protecting your business goes far beyond securing the physical structure. It involves more than just securing goods and other assets inside the building. In this day and information age, locking your doors and hiring security personnel alone won't cut it. If you're like most businesses today, using electronic databases, doing e-commerce, an invasion by unauthorized persons could put a temporary or permanent halt to your business.
We all know what happens if when a breach happens, and sometimes you can never recover. It destroys life, information is compromised, or information is destroyed.
Today, we're talking about software protection and providing you with the information you need to better protect sensitive data. Your website has been hacked, your information stolen. You immediately think it's a weakness in your network. But according to research from the U.S. National Institute of Standards, 92% of all security breaches occur because of application or software vulnerabilities and not network vulnerability. In simple terms, here's what that means. This is your data. This is the application or software used to protect it. This is your network that is used to coordinate and carry out activities, and this is your business. Now, experts say your data becomes exposed when unauthorized persons or hackers get past your network and reach your software system.
Take, for example, a bank. And if this bank, who we entrust with our confidential information, coming through the front door of the bank, certainly need to protect that. Getting past the teller, certainly need to protect that. But imagine now you get the information about you and I. this is the area we are concentrating on.
And rightly so, because this level of breach and exposure of not only customers' private information, but information on the operation of your business can potentially cost you revenue, lead to a bad reputation, and loss of confidence. Having a well-secured software system then is a must. The best way to get the process started and achieve tangible results is to construct a security gate. This is an added reinforcement around your software, making it harder for intruders to get in.
There are some key building blocks that you need to have in your program suite to ensure that person does not get access to your programs and be able to easily manipulate them. And those are really stringent programming steps.
This gate will give you a true test of the strength of your security measures. It will also highlight security threats before they happen. Program developers play a critical role in the setup of software systems, and experts tell us that their job is not to focus solely on the usability. So proper training is important.
A big part of our educational process here is to kind of shatter those assumptions and get an orientation towards thinking about how an attacker thinks. They have a completely different view of these applications. Their view is completely different. They're looking not for functionality, but for vulnerabilities.
At a recent government-endorsed secure software development lifecycle training seminar, young professionals were brought up to speed with global and national threats and how to incorporate advanced technology in their applications.
It's important at all times as ICT professionals that you always upgrade the skills that you have and you ensure that you are at the cutting edge in terms of not just local developments but global developments. And certainly in an industry which changes as rapidly as this one does, it is even more important to be at the forefront of the industry.
Seminar participants were also given a refresher on the dangers of complacency, the risks for businesses and individuals who relax and think their network is safe.
Let me give you a really good example. The most common password used today is password. The second most common password is 123456. And so as a developer, if you assume that somebody's password is secure and yet you've got a significant portion of your users using the same password, i.e. password, then that provides an open door for an attacker to use those accounts to attack your system.
The internet has revolutionized how we operate in the world, right? And what it has done is that bad and good. It has created all this window of opportunities and a window to your business. But what it allows easily now is someone to come to your website and to gain access from that website to your core business software that run in the business.
And so, organizations, especially state entities, are encouraged to build an awareness among staff and their key stakeholders to build and coordinate security measures with their ICT partners.
We need for persons, I said it before, that at the CEO level to understand that there are real dangers in how persons can get access to data, especially in the public sector. I mean, if you think of it, the Registrar General Department, the Passport Office, all of these agents are critical. If persons breach them, the ports, then we can have serious problems nationally. And we need to have a heightened awareness of all the possibilities of danger that is out there.
With this in mind, government has taken steps to amend the Cybercrimes Act to include harsher punishment and make provisions for offenses that are similar to cybercrimes.
In addition to that, we have established a cybercrimes task force, which is comprised of both government and private sector players. We are working with the International Telecoms Union to establish a cyber emergency response team.
With government playing its part, it's now up to you to ensure that you constantly evaluate your software security and create a plan for long-term protection. Don't be caught napping. Get software security conscious. Protect your business.
Ever heard the Jamaican proverb, one cocoa full basket? Well, we recently met some farmers who aren't planting one or even cocoa, but they're using the same principle to help fill their pockets and the country's food basket. The JIS team traveled to the Amity Hall Agro Park in St. Catherine and spoke with entrepreneurs working to grow their businesses and the economy.
Farmers contributing to government's strategic priorities, supporting job creation, economic growth, and putting fiscal prudence into action. Committed to growing the agricultural sector, the Ministry of Agriculture is putting some 8,000 acres of prime land under production. These have been divided across the island to form 9 agro-parks in St. Thomas, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Trelawney and Westmoreland. The aim is to get farmers or investors producing in high volumes using best practices, growing to supply both the local and export markets. 6 of these agro-parks are currently under operation, engaging more than 200 farmers who earned for themselves over $36 million in 2013. They represent just a fraction of the farmers of the agro-parks who will be leading the government's target of achieving revenues of $1 billion and producing enough to cut our high food import bill. We caught up with a few of the farmers at Amity Hall in St. Catherine to discuss their participation in the venture.
The variety of crops that I've been planting ranges from sweet potatoes, tomatoes, cucumbers, and of course I'm now doing papaya, and I plant a little plantain.
And I plant peppers here. I established about 3 acres. This pepper was planted out in September of last year, and started reaping in December. And I expect to get at least 20,000 pounds per acre. It's 3 acres. And so far I've been reaping on a weekly basis in excess of 1,000 pounds.
I have 10 acres, which I have basically 7 acres on the production right now. I have almost 4 acres in potatoes. I have 1 acre in Scotch bonnet peppers, and I have some other small amounts like okras, pap chows, tomato, sweet pepper. In terms of the potato, I basically stagger, say, 1 acre at each time, which so far has been look like a yielding about 12,000 pounds per acre on an average so far. That I think is a good yield.
Through funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, the necessary infrastructure such as roads, irrigation, drainage and other basic amenities were put in place to support production.
Well, one of the greatest benefits is for us to have a 5-acre piece of land with water right there, and adequate road. If it rains, we can still visit our land. It is relatively flat land. We have equipment at our avail, and that is a key element in the mix.
The farmers also received the technical support from Agro Investment Corporation, AIC, in areas such as the timing of crop planting and available markets. AIC is the agent of the government with managerial responsibility for the agro-parks.
They also provide us general information about what is happening on the international arena. And that helps to kind of position us to be selective in the type of crops that we should embark on.
These men have a general love for farming and want to see the agro-park succeed.
I'm really a part-time farmer. I love farming, always involved in farming. It's the last 2-3 years that I've got the opportunity to be farming on a more extensive basis. And so far, I put in a lot. And I think I've basically just started to reap the benefits.
And I have a love for agriculture. I was trained in agriculture, and I need to make some money. So you have to do work on a timely basis. And I believe that the other farmers in the agri-park, if they make the effort and put their best foot forward, then it should be a success.
We can produce, if we have reasonable amount of these sort of parks across Jamaica, we can produce more than enough food for the country and to export as well.
The fact that the land is made available at, I would say, peppercorn rent, let's face it, let's be honest, that also is one benefit. And I believe that if we use the land and use it adequately, we can keep it for life. What we are doing here is just a demonstration. So I am anticipating that this stage of the agri-park is the introductory phase to prepare us to take on the mega projects that are down the road.
I see myself as an important part in it and hope to do much better than I'm doing right now.
These are the farmers who are changing the face of agriculture. Their level of dedication and cooperation will lead to more jobs being created and Jamaica achieving a level of food security and eventually achieving sustained economic growth.
I wonder where Chantal is. You know me can't find him for wait. I know when they know. Watch me, honey. Hey Chantal, where you watch? GIS.
No most you know say that the program are the best.
Them always the places where you have progress. I'm made of them there. Don't me now forget.
I must Manchester's finest.
Hey, hide the remote, not change the station. Cause we soon come back with more information from the school and the station where you're number one. From the school and the program where you're number one.
We're more than halfway through today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. We have another feature coming up that I know you like. It's about a group of men with a powerful message for our youth.
I was like a rebellion against the system, but that never was the way, Virgin. I was convicted and sent to prison. Spent 14 years on death row. Only see 5 minutes of sunlight each day for 14 years. I was taken to the gallows and was supposed to be hung. Twice they built coffin for me and twice they dig hole. But God knows best.
Men who have made wrong choices in their past.
These are men who were either incarcerated or persons who were informal enforcers, as we say in Jamaica. These were persons who had no regard for law and order, who have actually, by whatever means possible, by whatever stimuli, have actually decided that they don't want that life anymore. They want to actually be positive role models in society.
Now they are sharing their experiences with the determination of reaching out to the youths and even their peers to not make the same mistakes they did. And by so doing, they are helping to restore and preserve the society's value system, thus securing the rock with their message.
Changetown youths, top up love, delete violence. Things take time to do if you take time to do it. Changetown youths, focus, take life serious.
We are trying to help them to realize that crime and violence is not something that is good. It's something that will destroy the society and the entire family. And once the family is destroyed, then the society will be destroyed.
Men with a Message is an initiative out of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP. The group, which consists of 10 men, was identified by CSJP's community action officers from among the program's many participants. Having received vocational and skills training, placed in jobs, and managed to maintain clean police records for at least 2 years, the young men successfully navigated the interview process and were made ready for their mission. Armed with a different attitude, these men are now fighting against the same plague that once struck them: crime, violence, and lack of education.
To live a better life and to act in a better manner, education is the surest guarantee for a better life. You can't constant do something when not giving you a good result. That's madness. That was how I define badness. So how I run down badness and madness. Because I was in it, so I listen keenly. So any man out there come for you, so I go to the eye there, all them can get to know.
It is reported that young men between the ages of 15 and 25 are most vulnerable to criminal activities. So, as part of the CSJP's initiatives within volatile communities, Men with a Message have been going into youth clubs and schools through the Safe Schools program to deliver their message of transformation.
I definitely want these youngsters to understand that crime on our whole is not something that they should want to indulge in. We know we cannot totally eliminate crime and violence from the society, but at least we can help to minimize it to a tolerable level.
Principals have actually reported that after Men with a Message have come and spoken to the students, delinquent students have actually been the ones now to curb the other students. There have actually been cases where students have been collecting knives from other students as a result of Men with a Message coming and speaking to them.
It doesn't have to be that we have gunmen around and so on, but it has to be that they understand that when they become men themselves, they have to become men of standard, men of worth, men of value. And that is what our society needs. And so many of these boys lack seeing men who are role models in this way.
I would like to see from this program youth getting the benefit that I know is there, because I am also a recipient of the program.
The common good of the society of Jamaica, which should always be the new name of justice, cannot be achieved by means of violence, because violence destroys what we intend to create.
These may seem like just words, but not to these men. With the CSJP operating in 50 communities, the men are spreading their message that change is possible and that the cycle of violence and underachievement from the inner city can be broken. And they are also living testimonies that the CSJP's programs actually work.
Jamaica, join with us to secure the rock. Top up love, delete violence. Jamaica youths, blessed love.
I'm on the rise, I'm on the rise. Higher than higher night, higher than higher night.
Unite for Change, a campaign being pushed by the Ministry of National Security to engage Jamaicans everywhere to take a stand against crime and indiscipline. It's based on the principle that each of us has a role to play to restore peace and improve security in the country. So what's your view? How can citizens help?
People should just let bygones be bygones. I mean, someone step on your toe, you don't have to attack him.
Well, first thing, grow the children the right way. And some of the music that they are listening to on the buses especially, those things need to be cut out so you have more safety, because the songs have violence in them.
I think that one of the first things that as a nation we need to draw closer to God. We need more prayer, more fasting, more love towards one another, more caring for one another. When we care for one another and live closer to one another, closer to God, then I think a nation that prays together will stay together.
The discipline and the pick them go to school. And from that change, we see a different type of nation with growing up at the youth them. But long as the discipline near the school with the picking them, you not going away.
I'd say everything starts at home. Like for example, the kids of today, good parenting could help contribute to that. And the laws that set for the country must be equal, not just a some.
All we have to do is go back to the old time system. Live good, love God.
It was my pleasure guiding you through the pages of Jamaica Magazine today. A new edition is in the works. Check back tomorrow, same time, same station for the details. In the meantime, there's more information on our website, jis.gov.jm, and on Twitter at JISnews. If you've got ideas for future programs, send them to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.